Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Sons and Daughters of Liberty. Today I'm actually going to do a truth portal. I haven't done one in a while. But this is going to be a fun one. I mean, really? Going to use Wikipedia to fact check our sources? To fact check conspiracy theories? I'm sorry. Guys, I have a list of videos, a playlist in the description. You guys want to check this out later. See what Wikipedia is really all about, the real facts about Wikipedia. In fact, it is an open source platform. Anybody can edit it, almost. As we found out in that video, they didn't honor their mission statement because there are some articles on there that are locked that nobody can edit, such as certain topics like Holocaust, global warming, a Free Spirit Press, or my favorite one, the one that this originally investigation started on, back on my other channel, where somebody had got a FOIA request and found out that a certain Wikipedia article was not factual, and they refused to change it. In fact, it led up to a point to where I ended up getting my Wikipedia account IP address banned because I have pushed the issue with facts, with concrete facts, and they refused to change the article. So I just got back home because I wanted to see for myself by going to my brother's house and getting on his computer and using his computer to access Wikipedia. And lo and behold, that article is still up, still saying the same thing, claiming it was debunked, when the actual FOIA request that came back stated it wasn't debunked, but they refuse to accept that. They refuse to change it. So I know I followed the proper procedures, and they are right. It is anonymous sources. What we came to find out, that is, certain people in this group on thing would lock these pages up so people couldn't edit, or they controlled the editing process. And what I was told by Wikipedia, the final, before I originally started with like a 30-day, 90-day ban. They didn't want to have a permanent IP address block. Hi, Pam. And what I found out is, even filing a complaint to Wikipedia, Wikipedia does not have hired people to run Wikipedia. It is solely responsible to creators of the content, how they manage it. And as I was doing this investigation, I got other reports and sent in. Somebody sent me in one on the Holocaust, how this article is saying the Holocaust never happened. Well, I know that's BS. My grandfather, his two brothers, all served in World War II. One of them did come upon a concentration camp. I've talked to survivors of the Holocaust. I've heard their stories. I personally knew a few growing up. So yes, the Holocaust did happen. But yet Wikipedia says it didn't. Most people don't know I also publish articles for the academia website. And they will flat out tell you never quote sources from Wikipedia. Why? Because anybody can edit or make changes to articles. They are not factual. Do your research. It's okay, guys, to go use it to read, but fact check it. Always fact check it, because anybody can come on there and edit. And you'll see in the videos I have in that playlist, you'll see their mission statement, how they talk about, oh, well, anybody can come and change it. Then you'll even see the emails I received from them. You know. But what I gotta say, you always should wait a few days before jumping the gun on something. Because Tuesday, supposedly Tuesday, the CEO of YouTube made an announcement and said that. But come Wednesday, some things changed. And basically, they're just saying they're looking into Wikipedia, that they're about using them. So this is mainly for YouTube. Don't make the biggest mistake you've ever made, because you can't use Wikipedia to fact check evidence, especially when we've come across, and you guys can watch the playlist as well. We've come across articles that cannot be edited or changed, and you can't report that, and they stay up. There is a process on Wikipedia. I've had a couple posts up on Wikipedia myself, which are no longer there because of my IP ban. They deleted all my stuff, which in a sense goes against the open source format and the ideology. People mistake encyclopedia as factual, when in actuality it is not an encyclopedia, because an encyclopedia, it cannot, the everyday person cannot edit. I don't got nothing wrong with that Wikipedia, because there's many great factual articles on there. There's many great resourcing points that you can follow and further develop your own research. Sometimes it's kind of a fast link to get to other sources to find things, because they do label it a certain way. But to be able to fact check somebody's opinions and views, no, you cannot use this. I mean, I thought I was rolling when I seen this article. Here's the article. YouTube says it's going after conspiracy videos. YouTube says it's cracking down on conspiracy videos, though it's scant on the details. Conspiracy videos abound on YouTube, whether it's about Earth being flat, school shootings being tagged. YouTube, its partner Google, Facebook, and Twitter are facing challenges with the spread of misinformation, propaganda, and fake news. YouTube CEO Susan, I think that's Wakaki, said at a conference Tuesday that the company will include links to online encyclopedia Wikipedia to try to debunk videos exposing conspiracy theories, but Wikipedia itself has had its share of credibility issues, as the service lets anyone edit its content, whether that person is a pedigreed expert or an online troll. Though Wikipedia has tried to address that, in part by restricting edits on high-profile or controversial pages, it isn't immune, like controversial pages like the Holocaust, that this one particular article said it didn't happen. Has tried to address that, in part by restricting edits. It isn't immune from hoaxes and its own conspiracy theories. In a statement Wednesday, YouTube said the links will include other third-party sources besides Wikipedia, though YouTube isn't identifying any. The organization that runs Wikipedia said Wednesday that it had no formal partnership with YouTube, but it welcomed the use of Wikipedia resources. YouTube said the move is part of a broader initiative to crack down on misinformation, though it didn't give details on what else is in the works. While conspiracy videos are nothing new on YouTube, the topic received renewed attention in recent weeks as videos falsely claim that students speaking out about February 14th Florida school shooting, which killed 17 people, were crisis actors who were not really there when it happened. On such conspiracy videos was the top trending video on YouTube until the company removed it. Although many similar videos remained up, illustrating the difficulty in the institution of any sort of crackdown. Conspiracy videos, to be sure, don't violate YouTube's policies. In the crisis actor case, the company said it removed the video because it violated its rules against harassment. Therefore, YouTube is unlikely to ban misinformation entirely. Instead, it may adopt Facebook tactics of de-emphasizing such content and making it less likely to be seen. As it stands, critics say YouTube is doing the opposite. Don't want to be a critic there, but I've seen so many good channels catch strikes, multiple strikes until they're taken down. You know, channels that are voicing their opinions and views. You guys, this is the important part, and this is something, YouTube, you need to understand. We have the right to express our views and our opinions on matters. That's what is so beautiful about your platform. It is up to us to discern what is factual or fake. It's up to us to discern if we want to watch the content or not. It's also our responsibility to report videos that are against the law. And when I say law, I mean the law. Like things endangering children. And you can go from there. Maybe you should clean up some of the content that is hidden privately on some channels that I know of. Because people have shared links to me of the private video, which really violates your terms of service. There's been no mystery on the loophole about making videos private, just like for all those that go to Patreon. So we're leaving YouTube. Yeah, sounds good. You're still going to use YouTube. You're going to set it private, so you can just embed the private link onto your Patreon page. But you're still going to use this platform. You know, that's the problem. Instead of taking a stance, everybody wants to run. But they're still going to use YouTube. They're just not telling you that. They're just going to set their page private, and that way they can control, put the links. Guys, you're not fooling anyone. But the problem is, instead of taking a stand and standing up, saying, no, we're not going to take this anymore. Banding together instead of running, because there's censorship everywhere. Oh, how we have forgotten a year ago, the people that got banned off Patreon for they didn't give no reason, they just banned them because they didn't like the content that they were reporting on because it didn't go against, because it went against the status quo. Because they had opinions, they had views, they were speaking it on various matters around the world. You know, Wikipedia, yes, it can be used. I'm not knocking Wikipedia. Does it need fixing? It needs a lot of fixing. It needs them to take responsibility of their platform. And when people do file complaints with factual information, they need to force the editor of that page to fix it, or they need to remove it. The specific one in the video, in that playlist, is still up, and it should have been removed back when all that happened in 2016 or 2000. That was 2016. But no, it is still up. And my request after doing the process was for deletion, which we all have a right to request for if people are blocking people from making edits. And you have factual proof, which I did. But in their words, no, it's not based on, we don't have people running Wikipedia. It's the community that runs Wikipedia, and the editors have a say in this. Well, when those very same editors are the one locking people out, putting false pages, and you're not cleaning them up, you cannot be credible to even say something about a video I did that's based on my opinions and views, which is clearly stated in my description. Disclaimer, all views and opinions shared in this broadcast is expressly and solely my own and of the individuals that are a part of this broadcast. All my images are open source and free for market use. You can actually find them all on my DeviantArt page. Any videos shared are accompanied by the link to the media or website and protected under Fair Use Act if permission was unable to be obtained. I always seek permission before I use, and I've even stopped that because, you know, just like I would love to share you this link, show you what I'm looking at when I was reading that article so you could read it along with me. But no, I'll put the link in. You guys can go view it for yourself. Oh, wait. If I start putting too many links in my description, I could be accused of spamming, which is actually in your terms of service, so you can't say anything about that. You know, just like I put in here, if something is said that you don't agree with, you have the right to fact check it yourself, which I highly recommend you fact check everything you hear, see, and read. You should. That's your due diligence. B, comment and express your own opinions. They are welcome, as long as you're not physically, violently threatening a person. Or you can just stop watching the broadcast. You don't have to watch it if you don't like it. You can hit the like button if you like. You can hit the dislike button if you don't like it. But if you hit the dislike button, I'm going to be pleased because I did my job. I made you think and question something. You know, we all have our rights and opinions to our opinions and our views and beliefs. We have a right to express them. You know, I'm very careful when I do things to make sure I put the proper time and research. Or when I make mistakes, I go back and correct. I will correct it in the description, and I also correct it in the comments, pinning it to the top, which I am thankful you allowed us to pin comments now, YouTube. That was awesome. It's like the live chat was awesome until you abuse it. Because I let my subscribers and people that come in and chat have their freedom of expression, their freedom of speech. I'm not going to sit here and dictate somebody's wrong or right. And plus, I'm not even going to delete the troll comments when they do come in. That way you can see the problem with the trolls. But I think you really need to think it through with the Wikipedia thing, because they have no right fact-checking anything. Unless you want to take the time and do your due diligence and fact-check the Wikipedia article. If you do that, I might not have a problem with it. But when you do that, make sure you follow the links and the footnotes and fact-check everything in the article. Yeah, it's not as quick and easy as people think it is when you use a YouTube or use a Wikipedia article fact-checking things, because it can rack up hours and a couple days piling in the research. You know, the fact is you should have more than one source. You should be hearing more than one view when it comes to topics. And that's another thing I do like about Wikipedia. It's how it's supposed to be done. In your articles and stuff, when you talk about certain subjects, you're supposed to give both sides of the views and opinions. Well, this group says this. I mean, there's like some articles they were basically saying pseudoscience. There's no such thing. But yet we do know, for anybody that's studied or majored in science, we do know pseudoscience is a science. You know, we also know acupuncture, and I think that was the particular Wikipedia page dealing with acupuncture. We do know from study and from research that it's very therapeutic. It's been practiced for centuries. And there's plenty of documented research, but yet the article was all one-sided, no, and it was treated as factual when it actually wasn't. See, that's the problem. You also have to realize a lot of things you guys try to write off as conspiracy theory. You can find scientists that say this, and you're going to find another group of scientists that say the opposite. There's always two sides to a story. Just like claiming something's a hoax or false flag or crisis actors. How many people have shown you advertisements on Craigslist or websites that are hiring crisis actors? So crisis actors is a real thing. Does it mean they're used in certain events? That's up for opinion. That's up for research. Afternoon, Rob. That is up for opinion and up for you to do research. Find out and come up with your own opinion on it. Is everything a false flag? Is everything a hoax? No. But when you do start seeing some things and put the links together, some of it, it's fishy. Hey, Iron 5, thanks for the subscription, by the way. It is fishy. It is fishy when you see a picture of a person and you can place them in 4 different places where things have happened. That's very fishy. But that's also a matter of opinion and my personal views. Because is that same person? Well, I'd have to have facial recognition software to see if that is the same person in the picture at each of these places. I don't have that, so my conclusion is my opinion on it, which I have never voiced or stated. But here's the important thing about channels like that do that. They show a person how to research and investigate and come up and formulate their own opinions. See, YouTube, you're missing that part. In a sense, it becomes a check and balances when the mainstream news misinterprets something or only goes by, and here's a thing for you, YouTube, if you want to have major news network on your platform, you should be fact-checking them. In fact, you should be holding them to a reporter's standard of not taking a side. They're supposed to be neutral throughout the whole thing. They're not supposed to take sides but report the facts as they come up, whether they go against what they're reporting on or not. They actually do, when they go to school and college for that, they actually do take oaths to stay neutral, report factual. But yeah, I know what you're going to say, but they're labeled as entertainment, so, which, okay, let's make that good and clear then. When somebody on here calls them out on something, don't punish the person that calls them out, because, hey, they're just entertainment. Everybody does make mistakes. It's up to us when we make that mistake to correct ourselves. I'm not going to sit here and tell you can go watch my video. When I do a video on something that may be just happening or that's in the making, I'm not going to tell you check for updates on my Twitter. That's a joke. You'll never see my updates on my Twitter. I know I don't see half the people's updates that say that, because why? Once you get over about 100, when you get over following over 100 people, it takes 5-10 minutes to scroll down just to get to the bottom of your first 2 minutes of feeds. And when you scroll up, you got 30-40 more to go back down. You're going to miss that. If I'm going to update something, I will do as I do when I correct myself. It'll be in my description, and I will pin it in comments for the update. Or I will come back and do a video revisiting the topic, so you guys are up to date and informed. We do have responsibilities when we do certain content. But, I was kind of laughing when my friend here in chat told me about this is what you guys were going to do. I'm like, yeah, right. They're not going to do that. They're not, wow, Was I wrong 2 days later? See, even I'm wrong sometimes, a lot of times probably. But I just couldn't believe you guys would think about doing something like that. Like, and as he put it, basically, maybe I actually put little, you know how we can put cards and stuff on our videos where you can actually correct yourself that way if you make a mistake. Well, they're going to put that over your videos, over your words with actually this happened. Or they're going to correct comments. No, I think not. It's my video. I do the edits. Don't you edit my video. Because when you start editing my video, you're infringing on my intellectual property. You're infringing on my freedoms of expression. I mean, I think this can be said for any other source you try to use to debunk. We've seen how that's worked. You hire 10,000 people, they go after people that goes against their concepts, ideas. Yeah, you will conform, exactly. Will not conform. You're talking to the wrong guy. I've had many exes that thought I would do that. Nope, won't happen. That would be your first mistake. And I'm not going to go away either, so. But, you know, all these other sources and all these people you hire, it became a bigger headache for you than just letting the AI do its job. You know, yeah, the AI had its problems. But you got people with their own opinions and their own views that could not be neutral, and they went after things that they didn't like and flagged. And it gave you guys much a harder job. I do understand that. But I'm not the one that hired them. Because if I would have hired them and I caught one person do it, I would set the precedent real quick. You're fired. Your job is to be neutral. We only want things removed that are in clear violation. Saying a person's name and thinking he may be this or that is not a violation. That is a matter of opinion and your personal views. And putting algorithms in your program to flag certain said words is a violation of my freedom of speech, of my rights to expressions, my opinions and views. You know, because one day a platform will come up that will offer everything you guys offer. Then you'll find out, you know, as the Cinderella song goes, you don't know what you got till it's gone. But until that happens, until I know for a fact that platform is going to honor us and respect us, I'm not going to jump nowhere. And the fact is, I know the truth. There will never be no such platform here in the U.S. because they won't allow it to happen. For those that don't say, well, how do you know? Because I was building my own platform. We was also building a server. And the few people I talked to that's worked on other big servers flat out told them, no, you'll either adhere and play ball or you won't exist. They will tie you up in courts over frivolous lawsuits. They're like that. It happens. So yeah, I mean, that was said in front of a lawyer too. So I do have knowledge when it comes to platforms. I didn't start my little thing here on YouTube. I've had a YouTube channel, had a gaming channel, but I've never utilized YouTube the way I have with this channel and with my other channel. I was in the networking, building websites, creating platforms, writing magazines, right, which can be done. But because there's plenty of open source software that allows you to upload videos, stream videos, so I don't have to let anybody else's apps or contents enter. I have access to my website, which, that's the other catch that people don't get. Oh, I'm just going to create my own website, do this. If you allow other people to post things, or you're going to use this platform and keep your channel private, but put the private links that your content shows, guess what? You just gave this platform access to your website. Because you agree upon it upon signing up. You agree to it for the use of third-party apps. You agree to it by the terms of service and community guidelines. And it's like that on every platform. When you allow other platforms to be able to put their content on yours, such as videos, or even for me, magazines. I ran a magazine for almost 5 years, created it, published it, and I ran it online. So I was using sites such as Scribd, Isu, which is Isu's awesome for those that don't know. And when you embed that magazine or that book onto your website, you're giving them access to your computer so they can update and monitor and collect data and a whole lot of other stuff goes on, because you don't know what third parties are tied into their third party. Like I said, when it comes to third parties, you're dealing with multiple third parties. When you agree to one, you're agreeing to about 1,000 more. And we know the controversy on that one. We know how that's been misused. YouTube's, like I said, you got a beautiful platform, but you're screwing up so bad. Let people have their opinions and views. Because let me tell you something. The day that those Congress and certain congressmen and women decide to tell you that you need to do this, they should be removed from office for violating the oaths they take to protect our constitutional rights and freedoms. They should actually be making policies that protect you so you can uphold our constitutional rights and freedoms. Instead of, oh, you're a corporation, therefore the Constitution Bill of Rights don't apply to you guys. Funny, the very words a couple justices said would happen if that thing was ever passed, and most people didn't care because they said, oh, it had nothing to do with the Constitution. It was dealing with, or it was all about politics and the money that people could contribute. In the grander scheme of things, it meant corporations didn't have to, by the wording as it was worded after they said what they said. You had 4 justices write lengthy articles on this. And of course, we know what happened to one of those justices. Unfortunately, he passed away. Now, it's a matter of opinion and views on certain people on how that came about. If it came about naturally or foul play, I don't know. I've researched it. I have my own opinions, but that's just that. We all have everyone has an opinion. You know what they say about opinions? Everybody's got one. Just like everybody's got an asshole. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. But they have that right to have that opinion. They don't have a right to have somebody tell them, you can't express that. That opinion is wrong. No, they had the right. Like I said, you guys missed some of the very important things that some of these conspiracy channels out there do. They teach people how to research. When you allow them to share their content without fear of catching a strike, people get to see how they research, how to find the facts for themselves. Because in the end, it's up to them to find the facts. It's up to them to form their own opinion. You know, and as creators, we should be taking a stand against this. Tell them, hey, without us, you don't have a platform because we know you're not making that much money off your YouTube TV. It's not doing so hot. You get more ad revenue money off us, the creator. And I told you a solution for that, YouTube. It's simple. Take the ones that don't want to sponsor the creator and let them sponsor the YouTube TV. Let the ones that want to sponsor the various creators, the various content and topics, let them come in and sponsor. Now, you would find things would be less a headache on your end. You'd hear less complaining. You wouldn't hear corporations trying to push. They have their own platform, and you don't let them come over here and push around the little guy. It's actually that simple. You do those things, you would have the number one best site. When you start respecting everybody's opinions and views, when you say, hey, we're going to find advertisers that want to sponsor the creator. We're going to take the ones that want to complain or stuff, and we're just going to give them their spot here on YouTube TV. So that way they can't complain because it's more content related to them anyway. Then you clean up the trolls. You stop letting the trolls come in here and doing things. You find their accounts and remove them. Because a lot of them are just automated bots. We know how the game goes. We've had to deal with it on websites, on social platforms, since I've been on them, since I've ran some. Now, some of us know how to create the algorithms for it, which is dumb. I don't know why anybody would want to do that, other than why it was originally created. Here's why the bots were originally, the coding and stuff for it was originally created to boost websites and the traffic that comes in. That's all. They found you gave them something. It's like the old say, you give them some. You take an inch. They're going to take a mile. You gave us an inch. You gave us something great with AdSense. And people found a loophole because how you worded it. And some of the stuff was based on the traffic we receive. We can get paid because of the traffic we get. Once you start getting over 10,000 hits an hour, you can start making money off that. And people found that loophole and created the bot system to generate that so they could generate revenue and money. There's many broken parts of the system. Just like a lot of people you see bailing from here because they can't monetize stuff and running to Patreon. And some of these guys know very well what happened last year. It tells me what they are really about. For them, it's all about the money. It's not about the content, which is sad because there's a lot of people in here that did find another way to bring some income into their homes by putting out great content, and it was never really about the money. It was about the love of doing it, and the reward was they could actually make a little something off their content. It brought out a lot of great content. Stuff I talk about, not for everyone. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm not a lot of ads' cup of tea. In fact, I'm probably more, advertisers would probably hate me more than the next guy because I talk about anything and everything, whatever's on my mind, whatever I see going on. And I know that. When I first created this channel, this is when all this crap really started, where you started really coming down on people. I made the choice right then and there not to monetize this channel because I want to be able to say the things I want, talk about the things I want without ramification or repercussion because I might offend some advertiser. I'm not going to allow my freedom of speech to be controlled by them. You know, I'm pro-gun, but I don't support the NRA. See? I'm not even advertiser friendly to the NRA, and I'm pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment. Very much so. I don't support somebody that gives an inch and has failed us in the past. But that's also my opinions, my views on it. Countless thousands of other people have a different opinion on that and a different view. And that's cool. My other thing with them, they charge vets. The very people that serve to protect these freedoms, they want to charge them for membership. They'll give them a discount. Ooh, discount. The service they done for us, it should be free. That's my other issue. And I have another issue, but that's a little bit controversial for some people. Because, and I'm going to actually state my opinion on this since I brought it up. My opinion on this is also, this is why I don't join any gun group that's for that. Because when you do, when you pay them, when you receive stuff, they have your name on a registry. Your name's in their computer system. So, therefore, the federal government knows who has guns. And for anybody that really researched the 9/11 Act and the NDAA bill, you guys should really know the dangers of putting yourself in a database. You should know that your mailman that delivers that is a federal employee. Does that mean it would happen? No. It may never happen. They might. I think they would actually stand up if they ever found out something like that did happen, and they would have a really, but I'm not going to chance the one chance that they get hacked by some outside source. That's my opinions. That's my views. That's my beliefs on that. Doesn't mean, yes, and Rob's actually just right. It's just another way to track you. And you know, who taught me about that was my grandfather, who served in World War II. He flat out told the NRA, don't ever call my house. I will never support you. I think there's only one member in my whole family that's a living that's an NRA member. And it's like some distant cousin. All close, immediate family don't. For the very reasons I've listed. Have you done some good things for the community? Yes. You've done great things with Dana Lassick as a voice for women. But you're failing us now by not having a 18-year-old's voice or the children's voice, because that's the very things they're using against us. But yeah, we talk about those things, and hey, Wikipedia might come around and say, "Oh, that's not factual. It's just my opinion." So, and which is clearly stated in my disclaimer, in my little description here. As I frequently tell everyone, it's up to you to fact check. It's up to you if I said something wrong to correct me. Send me an email. Information's all in the description. Privately message me here on YouTube or Twitter. Hey, I found this, you got that wrong. I will correct it if I find that it is actually wrong. But I'm going to fact check what you sent me and do research. Because that is what we should be doing. We should never be taking anything we see on here on any other platform for face value. We shouldn't be seeing anything we read in the paper or see on TV as fact. We should be questioning everything. And that is actually the importance, YouTube, of some of these conspiracy channels. Yes, I will admit, I've seen a few get out there, but they're entitled to get way out there. I personally don't believe the Earth's flat, but they do bring up some interesting comments and stuff that leads you to do a little investigation, and you learn new things. Still hasn't changed my opinion yet. I haven't found anybody can change my opinion on that. Don't mean I don't listen sometimes, because it gets interesting. That's the other beautiful thing about all this whole community. When I say community, I mean clear from the gaming industry here, the truth seekers, and everything in between. We learn from each other. It makes us question. It allows us to bounce ideas and theories and philosophies off people. Yeah, X-Files. I swear, every time I hear that somebody says X-Files, the only thing it goes back to is the alien one. I mean, here's your music. Don't send us anything Jimi Hendrix. Don't come past this. We built a wall. Priceless. I know some people get pissy about the N-word. I know if I would say it on here, I could catch a strike. And you know what? First time I catch a strike, if I ever say it, which I very seldom do, you better remove every rap video on this platform that says the N-word. We should have the right to say and express ourselves no matter what. And I've talked about it. I've covered it about the Supreme Court's ruling time and time again on the very aspect of hate speech. It is actually protected under the Constitution. They have a right to it. They have a right to say the things they want to say, even it may be hateful. And I respect that, because to me the Constitution is very black and white. And I've broke section of that down. We should have the right to express ourselves, to say the things we want, the things that we believe in, whether we agree with it or not. When you actually take a stance, when somebody reports a video for that, you kind of remind them, well, that's protected. They have a right to say that they're protected. And I tell you what, those trolls will go away, because now they know you're not catering to it. I mean, I got a good laugh at reading that last couple of days of the Wikipedia thing, and I really hope you realize what Wikipedia is about. And I really hope you realize what you really have here, because I think sometimes you get caught up in the corporate sector of the revenue and let money dictate way too much, and you forget how much of a beautiful platform you have here on YouTube. And this is to YouTube, by the way. You guys do have a beautiful platform. We can learn so much stuff. You know, we can find various opinions and ideas. You know, shit, I wish I was younger in college, because I would love to do an essay report on YouTube and various some other platforms, and how important they really are, and how much sometimes I think you guys forget what you have here. I mean, even with Wikipedia, if it was done right, it would be a nice thing. But it's always up for interpretation, because watch the first video in the playlist. It actually has the video of the mission statement by Wikipedia. The beautiful thing about Wikipedia is anybody can edit, unless it's certain touchy topics that I've mentioned earlier that, oh no, you can't. And you need to fix that. You need to kind of enforce that. They have to, if they're going to write articles like that, they have to put, as it's part of your guidelines, both sides of the coin, the arguments. Let people decide. Because, you know, when it comes to some of these key hot button issues, global warming, there's just as many scientists to disprove it as there is that prove it. So that leaves it up to you, the individual, to find out what you believe, what you think, and formulate your own opinion based off the many, many facts on either side. Because one of the facts is there is some global warming, but most of it's actually natural. For anybody that's ever studied it and studied the core ice samples or tree rings and stuff, how they can check the stuff. We've actually making a far less imprint and impact than thousands of years ago. I mean, the Earth does go through a cycle, a natural cycle. And guess what? Global warming is part of the natural cycle. But they play on that little truth. They play on the truth that, wait, we do impact it somewhat. And they take, it's like giving them an inch, they take a mile. Yeah, they take a mile and run with it. But they have their opinions. And they formulate their opinions and try to off certain truths. But they won't listen to the other side, to their certain truths, where there is a natural cycle there. They won't talk about that on the other side. That's important to understand. There's two sides to the story. That's important to understand when you're researching things. Just don't research the things that stick out and stand out that confirm your opinions and views. You also have to research the things that go against your views. So, and like, it goes back to even talking about the certain keywords and stuff that you want to block. When we talk about certain individuals or certain events, there's two sides to that story. And there's a bunch of stuff that sometimes don't add up. When you start having stuff that don't add up, Houston, we have a problem. But it teaches people. It's an educational tool because it teaches people how to research, how to fact check, how to come up with their own opinion. Just because I say it's so, don't mean it's so. I might be wrong. I may not have learned something that you know. That's why I love the live chats. I love interacting with the chats because we learn from each other. And that's the beauty of this platform. We're always learning from each other. So YouTube, think about that for a minute before you screw up, really screw up. You know, think about that. Maybe change your interview process when you hire people. Hold them to a neutral idea. Because yes, there is some stuff that should not be on here. We all agree on that. You're not going to find any of us that don't. There's certain things that are very against the law, and those people should be found, arrested, convicted, and do life in prison for some of the things that they've done and do. Those are the things you need to be going after, not people with opinions and different views on things, because that's where some of the greatest inventions, some of the greatest ideas, life-changing things come is from different views, opposing views. I'll let you think about that one for a while. Hope you guys enjoyed. Didn't want to make this too long of a video. I will catch you on the next one. You guys be safe, enjoy your weekend, and have fun. Catch you on the next one. Yeah, I agree.